going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today, once again, we want to talk about the Chicago Bears running back situation and take a deep dive into the Week 4 film for rookie running back Kyle Monangai and if he's ready to take over the running back 1 role for the Bears. And I know, guys, I broke the rule that I just set in the last video that in the next couple of weeks I don't want to do in-detail film room breakdowns, but look at me. Today I'm back talking about Kyle Monangai. Week 4 against the Las Vegas Raiders. The rookie just gets me going, man. I love Kyle Monangai. Already did a big-time film analysis on his preseason debut, but now he's getting a little bit more touches, right, for the Chicago Bears. And I do believe, just like with the last video, I also talked about him, I think he should get more touches. And to me, he proved it once again in Week 4 against the Las Vegas Raiders. So today I want to talk about Kyle Monangai's performance and show you guys in the film, breaking down his couple carries that he had in detail, why he is such a talented running back, and why I think he can elevate the running game more than DeAndre Swift does at the moment. But before we want to actually go into the film room today and look at the All-22, I want to start out with his stats so far this season and then also against the Las Vegas Raiders, what he did in this Week 4 outing. Overall for the season, he has 17 attempts for 62 yards rushing, which is a 3.6 yards per average or per attempt that he has. And this is a pretty much big-time misleading stat for Kyle Monangai, because if you follow the Bears closely, you know that Kyle Monangai had a minus 8-yard run against the Dallas Cowboys where he broke like 4 or 5 tackles, so I love the effort, but for statistics, that was a big-time drop, because if you ignore that one big-time 8-yard loss that he had on a run, his adjusted average would be 4.37 yards per attempt, which is so much better than 3.6 yards. But with the limited amount of touches that he's gotten so far, that was a big-time influence on his stats. So if we just ignore that one stat, he's much better than DeAndre Swift, who averages about 3.3 yards per attempt, and he has much more workload to show for it, okay? And then also, if we're looking at it stats-wise, he has 40 yards after contact of those 62. Again, those minus 8 yards came after contact, so again, a little bit of a misleading stat right here. Now, proving that point is against the Las Vegas Raiders, he had 4 carries for 18 yards, which means 4.5 yards per attempt, and 5 yards after contact per attempt as well. So pretty good outing with the limited opportunities that he's gotten in this game. But like I said, do not let the stats fool you. So today, once again, I'll make my case for Kyle Monangai and why he should receive more opportunities moving forward with the Chicago Bears offense and head coach Ben Johnson. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time and get into today's All-22 breakdown. And in today's breakdown, we want to look at 5 carries overall and his blocking reps as well in pass protection, because that's obviously a big-time ability that he needs to offer if he wants to be a more feature back in this Bears backfield. And with this first play for the Chicago Bears, we're looking at a wing formation and Kyle Monangai in the backfield, Caleb Williams under center, and we're running a inside zone to the right with a backside handoff here on this play. And you also have Luther Burden motioning in and inserting on this play. And the big issue on this play is just Cole Kmet getting manhandled at the line of scrimmage, getting pushed back hard and failing to keep the lineman at the line of scrimmage. So Kyle Monangai has to do something already, even in the backfield. He's not even past the line of scrimmage, but he displays some good vision here, breaks the arm tackle of the first guy, and then gets hip tackled on his first carry for about 1 yard. So I think it's a pretty okay attempt here. It's nothing too special. I still want to go through all the carries, showing that he has good vision. He can break tackles, and I tell you guys who's getting tackled in the backfield right there by the defensive lineman, DeAndre Swift. So at least he gained a yard, even though the blockers in front of him messed up big time here, in that case, Cole Kmet. Now already moving on to run number 2 for Kyle Monangai on this drive. Similar situation, the Bears in a double tight formation here with Smythe, the number 81 tight end for the Chicago Bears, to the Bears offense's left side here, and the Bears are running wide zone at him to the Bears left. And the read for Kyle Monangai here on this play is outside to in, as it can basically hit anywhere, wide zone in that case. And number 81 Smythe loses very quickly here against number 51 from the Las Vegas Raiders and gives him a chance to just shed and play the outside gap immediately. So once again, another run where your tight end just messes up your timing and your rhythm immediately right off the snap by getting beat by a defensive lineman. You don't love to see that, but for Kyle Monangai, I like his vision. He reads it correctly, tries to bounce it back inside. The only thing for him here is he just needs to make that read a little bit quicker here, in my opinion. He sees the backside opening up, but just gets there a little bit too late. He could have hit that, but at the end of the day, still, he falls forward and gains a yard, even though he's engaged with tacklers and keeps his legs moving. So again, I love the effort. We're just right here. He could have done a little bit of a better job if he read that a little bit quicker. But again, good vision seeing it, because I can tell you who ran into or would have ran into that edge defender. Once again, Bears starting running back DeAndre Swift. Now moving on to one of the best plays on the entire day for Kyle Monangai, run number 3 for him. And this is overall a great execution and a great call by Ben Johnson. So I want to talk about this a little bit more in detail, using the weaknesses of the Las Vegas Raiders to the Bears' offense's advantage. Now for the formation here, same formation, double tight for the Chicago Bears, with Smythe on the play side as the Bears are running wide zone away from Max Crosby, who was obviously a troublemaker all game long for the Bears offense and for the Vegas defense. And you have him playing against Cole Kmet here, who's just trying to seal him off on the backside of this wide zone run. And I love this call from Ben Johnson for multiple reasons, because first of all, with them overloading to the front side of this run and trying to prevent them from hitting it outside, it means that Max Crosby is responsible with his alignment for the backside C gap. And Ben Johnson is using his upfield aggressiveness here against him as he chases over the top, as you can see here against Cole Kmet, leaving the C-gap vulnerable. And that is a big time advantage here, because he chases down upfield trying to play it over the top, and that C-gap opens up. And then for Kyle Monangai here, again displaying great vision, one cuts it here and explodes through that C-gap, through that hole. Does not go down, legs keep churning, and he gains 7 yards on that play. So it's just a casual play. Obviously, it's 7 yards. It's nothing too special. But still, I love the technique. I love the aggressiveness by Ben Johnson, using their best player's weakness by being aggressive and trying to always make a play against them, and then just running it backside in that gap with Crosby trying to chase up top. Now, he's still that good of an athlete that he still gets an arm on Monangai, but he runs through it, keeps his legs churning, and then Cole Kmet helps him a little bit for a couple of more yards for a great 7-yard gain here. Love the detail and execution by the offense, and again, a good job here by Kyle Monangai. As we now want to move on for run number 4, second to last one that we want to look at today, the Bears back to a wing under center situation right here, running toss to the left. And again, a great call by Ben Johnson and just the technique teaching by the Chicago Bears staff. I love it. We're going to talk about this one in detail a little bit more as well. We got the wing to the left with Cole Kmet on the line and Smythe off the line here in that situation. And you got a linebacker inside shaded to Smythe and a end inside shaded to Cole Kmet. And what the Bears are running here is toss to the left, which means they have advantageous positioning here and they just have leverage, winning that outside gap by being in a better position already pre-snap. But in order to make sure that they're not going to make a play outside here, Ben Johnson teaches and wants Caleb Williams to open up on the backside of the play first, so to the right, and then pitch it to the left to Kyle Monangai. And what that does is it's selling wide zone to the right with how we open up as a quarterback on this pitch. And then also you see the tight ends with their first step going left, inviting the end and the backer to shoot up that gap to just then wall them off and easily having a great angle here. So by opening up on the backside and stepping left here with the tight ends, inviting those ends to shoot that gap, you automatically seal them off and just have a great outside lane to run into. So I love that detail again by Ben Johnson as a play caller and just how in detail he teaches the Chicago Bears, so that's great. And then you have Kyle Monangai doing his thing as well. You have a linebacker that's going to meet him in this outside gap, and he keeps it wide to set up a one-cut back to the inside, and he does so beautifully. He breaks into the second level, breaks that tackle from that linebacker, just makes him look silly, and then falls forward for a big 9-yard gain here. Absolutely beautiful once again. And then for the final run that we want to look at today, it is kind of a bonus run because it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. I know I said only 4 carries, yes, but there was one big flag by guard Jonah Jackson that took away that 11-yard run by Kyle Monangai, but still a good run to look at to just analyze his abilities in the backfield. Right here, again, double tight. You got Smite on the front side of this, backside of this run on the line, and then Cole Kmet off the line and the sniffer position, and they're running split zone to the left for a big time gain here. We're under center, we're pitching again, opening up on the backside, and then pitching front side, and then Kyle Monangai again hits the hole beautifully here, keeps it wide again, helping his blockers out because it forces the defenders to play outside then, and that gives them a great opportunity to block them out, and Kyle Monangai to cut it back in underneath. One cuts it, once again, goes north-south, straight up, decisive on this one, and then truck sticks a defender and falls forward for 11 yards. Now, unfortunately, this is being held back by Jonah Jackson. Literally, even though I personally do not love this call by the refs because I think it's also a great acting job by the defensive lineman. If you look at it from the sideline view, it just seems like he can't really get to Kyle Monangai. I don't think Jonah Jackson truly holds on to him, and he just falls like an actor, and I don't know. I don't love this call. It may be an okay call, but it's very iffy, in my opinion, that holding call against Jonah Jackson. But I mean, in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if we want to evaluate Kyle Monangai here. He still displayed the vision that he truly has, the ability to break tackles, fall forward, and just keep his legs moving. And I absolutely love that on this run again here by Monangai. And then moving on quickly to his blocking, I think it's something he had limited reps, still improved in my opinion. He had a couple of good reps where he looked much better in this game, and he just keeps improving game to game. He had a good base, showed a little bit of power to keep the defensive linemen or the blitzers where they're at and not getting them any more ground up towards Caleb Williams. So I liked his blocking efforts. I think he got better, so I liked seeing that as well. And then in the passing game, there's not too much to talk about. There was one miscommunication with Caleb Williams, but I mean, I'm not on the Bears staff. I don't know whose fault that was, who was on the wrong route here on this play. So that really doesn't matter in the end, or it doesn't matter too much right now. So for the conclusion overall, I think Kyle Monangai displayed great vision, the ability to break tackles, read wide zone to perfection, hit the open gaps beautifully, had good vision, like I said, and then also never stopped his legs from moving. So I was really impressed by Kyle Monangai, and I want him to get more carries in this offense because he can be a true bell cow back if you give him more opportunities in this offense, especially in 2025, with the running back room being a big weakness so far this season, with DeAndre Swift being a playmaker if he's had enough space. But if the look is cloudy, he will not make a play. That's what I truly believe in. So with that being said, guys, that's the end of today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Chicago Bears' current running back situation, and if you agree with me that Kyle Monangai should see more carries moving forward. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. I would appreciate it. It would support me very much. And with that being said, I got a couple of more video ideas that I want to go through over the next 2 weeks with the bye week in between. And I see you guys in the next video. And as always, guys, bear down.